Hey everyone, Brian from Three Geeky Dads here. Before we begin tonight's episode, I just want everyone to know that we are now sponsored by Audible. As an IT professional for a school department, I find myself behind the wheel of my car traveling between schools almost all day long, and that's where Audible comes in. Right now, I'm enjoying listening to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry. It's so enjoyable to hear this hilarious audiobook read by a proper British comic actor. And that's just scratching the surface. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word content, with everything from bestsellers, celebrity memoirs, and news to podcasts. Yes, if you're into podcasts, and you're listening to us right now, so we can assume you do, Audible has got you covered. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial today. That's www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial. You'll get 1 credit, 2 credits if you're already an Amazon Prime member. That's good for any premium selection titles you like, and they're yours to keep. You also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals. Listen all you want. No credits needed. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/3GD. $14.95 a month after your 30-day trial. Cancel at any time. Audible. Stay informed, connected, and inspired. And now, on with the show.
Warning, incoming dad joke. Warning, incoming dad joke.
Hey guys, do you think if prisoners could take their own mugshots, they'd be called selfies? Selfies.
Would they take them with their cell phones?
They'd be confiscated.
Yeah.
Because they're cons.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
It was like a pink nightmare.
Christmas has a Yule log. Not a log, I don't have a log, but it's...
Fathers, prepare
All that I have, all that I've learned, everything I feel, all this and more I bequeath you, my son.
Your father was Frankenstein, and your mother was the lightning.
We named the dog Indiana.
I am your father.
No, you're not. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Three Geeky Dads, the show so vile it can even piss off the Swiss. Ooh. And my laptop just went black for some reason. I am Mark, and with
you'll never go back.
And I can't use sand people. Huh? Okay. I am Mark, and with me, as always, are the Larry and Moe to my Curly.
Derek.
And Brian.
And always present with us, like a birthmark, the Michelangelo to the rest of our turtles, Tito.
Hey, everybody.
Don't get too excited.
I want to be Raphael.
Such a fucking every time. Tonight we continue celebrating I don't know why, celebrating Tito's 1-year anniversary and joining our show and bringing our credibility of cool up to 11. In doing so, we have made the month of January the month of Tito, with movie picks curated by the man who's so chill that he would let your dog just finish humping his leg and move on rather than kick it away and risk hurting the poor creature. That's how cool he is. And also kind of perverted.
Best to just let him finish, Clark.
Let it go. So, for tonight's Tito pick, we'll be talking about a movie that features boxing, inner-city violence, and lots of large forehead men scowling at one another. A little-known movie called Gladiator. And no, not the Russell Crowe one. But before we lace up our gloves and put in those mouth guards, our own gladiator of Gouda and Garbanzo, Brian Rice-A-Roni Ramsey, has, as always, a yummy appetizer to start us off. Brian.
You know what your problem is? It don't work out. Got exercise. Look at me. That's all muscle.
Oh!
You fat. I'm muscle.
Oh, look at my little Bill. He's a little Hercules. Show me muscle again. Oh, Hercules.
Once you work out, your metabolism starts to speed up. You can eat anything you want. Go on. Knock yourself out.
So strong.
Well, Ernie, recent studies have shown that certain people are genetically predisposed to gaining weight. Someday in the near future, we might even find a cure.
Only thing you need to study is your age.
A lot of beers in us already, guys. Sorry.
So, as Mark said, tonight our curator of cool, Tito, brings to us another one of his favorite films to look at. Do you like Gladiator films, Timmy? Sure, we all do. But this isn't your father's sword and sandal type Gladiator movie. No, this one's less about General Maximus and his rise through the ranks to take down an emperor, and more about Tom Riley navigating the halls of his inner city high school, surviving the mean streets of the south side of Chicago, and rising to the top of illegal underground boxing matches where punches can kill. After watching this movie, we got to thinking about some of our other favorite movies that involve kids surviving on the mean streets of the inner city, and here are some of our picks.
Very nice. Very nice.
That was good.
Tito, you're starting us off, man.
All right. I got a whole list of them. Everybody just did one?
Yeah.
I did one. I got a couple of runners up in case you guys.
Okay. Yeah, I got a couple of runners up too. I'm going Juice. I'm going 1992's Juice. Tupac, Omar Epps. Tretch is in there somewhere. It's the story of 4 friends in high school who don't spend a lot of time in school. One of them wants to be a DJ, and the other one is a sociopath. And they kill a guy by accident.
Brick killed a guy.
And then they essentially go on the run from their friend who is trying to kind of kill them. It's kind of a insane kind of story.
Hilarity ensues.
Hilarity ensues.
It's a family film.
But it's a movie I always loved. I love the soundtrack. It's got a bunch of fucking awesome cameos. Tretch is in it, Queen Latifah, like a bunch of really cool hip-hop artists. One of Tupac's first films. And he's phenomenal as the villain. He plays Bishop, who is just the sociopath of a human being. And it's kind of an interesting take on... I mean, I guess it's like a movie about the inner city and kids growing up in the inner city, but it's more so about, I don't know, it's kind of a thriller of sorts because he is so crazy. And they're basically trying to get away from him the entire time, but they can't leave their city because they're poor. But yeah, that's always been a favorite of mine.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
I'm going outside the box. I'm going Hackers.
Oh, dude,
Hackers.
I was like, I think somebody's gonna pick Hackers.
This is the one
I
that
didn't even think of Hackers.
stood out. Yeah. I call it the inner city and cyberspace movie. It has all the markings of a classic inner city story of an outsider who's pulled into a world of friends and enemies who must overcome the naysayers and prove himself worthy, which leads into a showdown with the ultimate head honcho, in this case, the Plague. Instead of fists and switchblades, the weapon of choice is the keyboard and intellect.
Mr. The Plague.
Yeah, mess with the best.
Right.
I was thinking
Die
about that
like
one.
the rest.
Yeah, that one
So
came to
I
me.
saw this. It's in the city. A lot of it is underground. All these seedy clubs and places. I thought
Absolutely.
maybe the guys will accept this, and if not, fuck 'em.
Fisher Stevens.
Yeah, Fisher Stevens.
Joke them if they can't take a photo.
Yeah, I don't think that's out of the box at
Right,
all. I
it's-
think, a
it's an
bunch of
inner
kids
city
in the inner
movie.
city,
Yeah. Not
it's
your
kind of
traditional one,
counterculture.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, just more high tech.
Lord Nikon is like one of the coolest fucking names I've
Dude,
ever
he's
heard.
awesome.
I wish
Also,
I wish
yeah,
I had
dude
that
from The
name.
Crow. I can't
guy from
remember
The
the
Crow.
actor's name, but he's fucking awesome.
That's a movie I need to rewatch.
The Crow or-
no, both.
Oh,
of them. I
Hackers?
mean, Hackers, yes, but The Crow I watch
Oh,
at least
love
once a
Hackers.
year.
Love Hackers.
Hackers
Love
I
this
haven't
movie.
seen in quite a while.
So much fun to watch.
Yeah, I watched that a couple of times.
And Lord Nikon is
Lord
awesome in
Nikon.
that.
I just like the name is just
Yeah.
fucking. I
Your
wish
mother buy you a pewter for Christmas. Oh.
and the Lord Nikon to our hackers, Tito. Yay! That's how it should have started.
Derek?
I went with probably an obvious choice, but the 1995 film Dangerous Minds, starring Michelle Pfeiffer. It sees her as as former Marine Luann Johnson, who wrote the autobiography that the film is based on, attempting to use.
I didn't realize that was a true story.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. She became a teacher. And
Yeah. What was the book was called?
Dangerous Minds.
It's funny because I listened to a podcast.
Like my kid
about
don't my posse.
My posse.
Fuck, I can't remember.
Why can't Posse read?
What's her name? Luann Johnson. Right?
Luann Johnson, yeah. Anyway,
My posse don't do homework.
Don't do homework. That's the one. Attempting to use hip hop and music lyrics to teach a bunch of inner city tough kids, like I thought this one was supposed to be. Gladiator didn't really have too many tough kids in that school. I thought that would be a lot
Not
more.
enough tough kids.
I never really understood the thought that of Courtney B. Vance, who played the principal, being against the way that she was teaching, because at least she's reaching them.
Yeah.
But I always liked the movie, and the soundtrack was awesome, full of a lot of lesser.
Gangsta's Paradise.
Yeah, a lot of lesser known rap and hip hop artists of the time, and then of course the well known and often parodied Gangsta's Paradise by the late great Coolio.
There's a Hackers connection because Raul is Phantom Freak in Hackers. The kid that plays Raul, the kid with the ponytail, he's Phantom Freak in Hackers.
And he's
also
in Con Air.
Air,
He's
right?
in Con Air. Yeah.
It's a cross-dresser in that, isn't he?
Yeah, he's.
Oh, is that him? The
Yeah.
little one that flits around?
Yeah, I didn't have any other ones because I'm affluent. I don't connect to these movies. I suffer from affluenza.
She actually
No, it's a
did
real
not
thing.
like
Did
the
you know that?
movie.
Who?
She hated the movie.
Luann Johnson did?
She was like, because all the kids, they would like change the stories and be like, the twins drop out of school. She was like, they didn't drop out of school. They graduated high school. Like,
Oh, shit.
I went to their house. Their mother wasn't a bitch to me. She was actually really cool and cared about them and how they. And she was not a fan.
It's a whole Patch Adams thing.
She was not a fan.
All right.
Wow.
But they, she still got her story.
That
told
happens.
somewhat.
That happens.
does.
Hollywood likes to tinker with the
They
short
should.
story.
Whatever. Luann Johnson doesn't look half as good as Michelle Pfeiffer in those denim pants.
No,
and
that leather
jacket.
yeah.
Oh, man. There are no victims in this classroom.
No.
There's a lot of love for Michelle Pfeiffer, though. Brian?
Hey.
Hey, Brian.
Hey.
I'm
Welcome
going
back, Carter. That's your pick. hey.
Oh, Mr. Carter.
That would have been a good pick.
It's the inner city. Yeah. I'm going with 1985's Tough Turf with James Spader.
I don't think I've seen
Why are you
this.
laughing? Why are you laughing?
I like that movie.
I love this movie.
Never seen it.
Never
Have
saw
you
it?
seen it?
Oh my
No.
God, it's absurd.
Kim Richards is in it. She was the little girl from the.
Holy shit, she did
But she's
something
all
else?
she's all
Escape
grown up in this
from-
movie. Yeah, the Escape from Witch Mountain
Which one?
movies.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And Halloween.
And-
Halloween.
And the
Assault
newer
on the
ones?
One. Yeah, she was in the newer one.
Oh, she might
might
be
have been.
because she
Yep,
returned to
you're right.
acting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
I know.
I
That's
think
the
you might
Assault
be
on
right.
Precinct 13 girl, correct?
She's the girl
I
that
want
gets
the
shot
twist.
down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's
Went
her.
back for a vanilla twist. And
Yep.
she just was happy
Yep.
with what she got. She would have been
Well, the guy hadn't fucked it up then. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No,
Sorry, Brian.
Robert Downey Jr. is also in this one. He plays like he did in a lot of movies in the early '80s. Background kid, one of James Spader's friends. But this movie, James Spader plays the new kid in town, and he has to battle a gang of street toughs after he unknowingly steals the gang leader's girl, played by Kim Richards.
I have to see this.
It's a really good
great.
movie.
I
It's
think
a
it's
really
on
good
Prime.
movie. Is it on Prime?
I think it might.
Yeah, Tough Turf. Yep.
I watched.
TUFF.
I was gonna say
TUFF.
it's the '80s, so it was definitely spelled TUFF.
And ironically, the same year, and I've got this on mine too because it kind of deals with the same thing, but James Spader plays the asshole. And that movie was called The New Kids, also known as Striking Back.
I don't know
And that movie had this guy named Shannon Presby and Lori Loughlin very young
Becky.
Lori Loughlin.
I'm Becky.
James Spader, yeah, I'm Becky.
Jailbird, not Becky.
Yeah, Jailbird
Super
Becky
hot
now.
aunt, though. Yeah.
She was super hot in that movie
hot,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, young Laura.
But in that one, Lori Loughlin and the Shannon Presby play brother and sister. They arrive in town to help out their relatives after their parents are killed.
Oh fuck!
They-
I have
they-
seen this movie.
They come to live with their aunt and uncle who own like a gas station and an amusement park that they're trying to renovate. And so they come and they live with them and they're going to help them work this out. But they get mixed up with a street gang. And this time the street gang is run by James Spader. And this movie came out the same year as Tough Turf.
Both of these sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was showing how diverse he is.
Yeah, range.
Yeah. I loved him and I hated him in that year. And that kind of followed like his entire career for me. I have a love-hate relationship with James Spader.
For sure.
He's like the guy I love to hate.
I saw. I think it was class of 1984. I hadn't seen it ever, and then
That's
I watched
one
it.
of my runners up.
And then I was like, oh, I
thought you were
going
gonna
to
go with that one.
I was gonna go with it, but
almost
I
went
really
with it.
wanted to go with Hackers because I watched that one more.
Yep.
Class of 1984. Is
Yeah.
awesome,
So then I
but
watched
it's
that,
not-
and then I watched the
But it's
one
good.
with the girl from Exorcist. What is this?
Oh, Linda Blair.
Linda Blair.
Where she takes revenge on the kids at her school.
Repossessed.
No.
No, she took revenge
I
on
watched
the
a whole
audience. for
bunch
that
of
one.
I was like, oh, I want to see movies like that, and then Tough Turf was one of them. and
Yep.
He's like riding a 10-speed
Yeah.
bike.
I gotta check
Yeah,
that
yeah,
out.
yeah.
I almost
You
went with
can't
it
ride
before.
that here.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to cruise through history.
James Spader and Robert Downey Jr. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will check that out.
yeah. So anybody have any runners up or
Well, class of
Yeah, class of
1984.
84? That was one of my runners up too. I
Definitely
also had
such a great
one of the originals was To Sir with Love with Lawrence. Not Laurence
That's the
Olivier,
name of
Sidney
it.
Poitier.
Yes,
Sidney Poitier.
yes.
Yep.
Goodbye, Mr. Phipps.
Yeah.
Chips.
They call me Mr.
No, they
Tibbs?
call me Mr. Tibbs.
No.
that's-
There's a
Mr. Tibbs is
a different-
That's,
in the
that's
heat
a
of the
different
night.
movie.
no,
That's
but
the heat
it's
of the
no,
night.
it's a different school movie though that I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
I
They
think
did
it's
make
I
a
think it's
sequel
good.
to In the Heat of the Night, though.
Did they?
Yeah, they call me Mr. Tibbs.
Oh, that's the sequel.
That's
Oh,
what
see, I
it's
never knew
called.
there was
Yeah.
a sequel in there.
And
I just watched the TV show for a while, honestly.
Call me Mr.
Carol O'Connor.
Well,
Yeah. No, that's Denzel. No, Denzel.
no, that's actually that's
Who
Ham-
drank my Mr. Pibb?
That's Ham from Toy Story.
Don Rickles?
Call me Mr. Mr. Pig.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no, that's not Toy Story. That's Lion King.
You're right. It's Pumbaa.
Yeah,
Pumbaa says it.
Oh, that's right.
Right,
Yeah.
the pig is John Ratzenberger in Toy Story.
That's right.
That's
right.
okay.
Oh,
I
no,
thought
that
Sidney
was,
Poitier was Denzel Washington.
Yeah, he was
I'm
Mr.
afraid.
Potato Head.
Ernie Sabella
Yeah.
as Pumbaa.
And I paint your angry eyes just in case.
That's frightening.
So, also for runners-up...
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Sorry.
My Estelle Getty.
No,
It's not Estelle Getty.
But the listeners cannot see
Estelle Harris, right?
see your
It's
face
Estelle
doing that
something.
impression. You like a psychotic clown.
I was a psychotic.
What's some
clown.
runners-up? Dead Poets Society? Is
No,
that
I had Blackboard Jungle with
Humphrey Bogart?
No, Ford.
That's Asphalt Jungle. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wrong one. Wrong
Blackboard Jungle. I had Class of '84. I had The Substitute.
Oh, how could
Remember The
Tom
Substitute?
Berenger.
Tom Berenger.
Nobody said The Principal. Huh?
No,
I'm
I can't. I
surprised.
can't pick
I figured-
a Jim Belushi movie.
You can't. Just
Oh,
again.
Sidney Poitier is in that. Glenn Ford, Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, Glenn
Jungle.
Ford. That's the one I was trying to think of. Yep. Stand and Deliver. Stand and Deliver.
Lean
That's
on
the
Me.
one.
James Olmos.
Lean on Me.
I got
Lean-
Lean on Me on mine.
I feel
Lean
like
on
the
Me
two
was
of the
one with
yeah,
Morgan
those,
Freeman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the baseball bat.
Yeah.
those two movies were very similar.
Yeah, and Dangerous Minds. They all came out around the same time
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, there was a boom in it.
There
A
really
boom,
was.
I tell ya.
But I wouldn't call School Ties this. I mean, Dead Poets Society.
I was kidding.
All right.
I was kidding.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, I was a joke.
School Ties either. I don't know if I could go
No.
with School Ties.
No, no,
the
either
prep
either
schools.
one.
I mean, they're
at a
It's
boarding
prep
school.
schools.
Well,
What about Sense of a Woman? I mean,
know.
it
I mean, one of the
that's a
kids
boarding
in-
school too.
one of the kids in Dead Poets Society has led to suicide. That gets pretty dark.
It does, but it doesn't.
You don't
have anything
find
to
it
do
in
with,
the
like living
city.
on the mean streets.
Yeah.
No, I guess not.
The mean streets of
Still pretty
Yale.
mean though.
Yeah, exactly.
The mean
Princeton.
fields. The mean fields of Princeton.
The mean,
The
hall,
mean
the mean
fields.
halls.
The mean hall.
The
quad.
mean lawn.
The mean quad. Do they have quads there? I don't know. I've never
Sure.
been to Princeton. I've never
They
been
did.
to
quads,
I'd run
glutes.
through
They
it
had them all.
naked. I'd go streaking through it. Through the quad to the
We're
gymnasium.
going streaking. Any other ones?
I had Lean on Me too, and then the other one I had was Above the Rim, which is like a high school
Oh,
basketball.
Above the Rim.
High school basketball
Yep.
movie. Another Tupac.
Yeah. Nice.
So that was it.
Awesome.
The Michael Jackson Bad video.
You ain't bad. You ain't nothing.
That's a video
You
before
know,
that. That-
Wesley Snipes. Was
Yeah,
supposed, that
he
was supposed
was.
to be Prince.
Was it really?
Really?
Yeah, Prince was like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
That was like gonna be a duet, and then he was explaining Michael Jackson
concept?
explained the concept to him. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that,"
Why?
because he didn't want to lose. He
Ah.
was like, "I'm not gonna lose to
Ego.
you."
He was the
man.
Rock
man.
before there was a Rock.
Yeah, he was like, "I'm
I
not."
know,
losing
right?
to you." I kind of respect.
It's in my contract. I ain't
Dwayne
going
Prince
down.
Respect
Johnson.
it a little bit.
That's petty. I don't respect that. That's too petty.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And he should have made Paul McCartney Wesley Snipes. Though.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, see that?
You ain't bad. You ain't. I can't do
And
Paul
they
McCartney.
did say.
Do Paul
You
McCartney.
Ivory.
You
Oh,
ain't
I think
nothing.
they hated each other
Yeah.
by that point.
They
though.
did hate
Yeah,
each
they
other.
hated
Give
each
You
me
other.
my
ain't-
songs back, Michael.
You ain't bad. You
That's
ain't
not Paul.
nothing.
You ain't nothing.
Give me my songs back,
Give me my
Michael.
songs back, Michael. You
Hey.
bought my songs.
Hey,
Why do
old
you guys
man,
sound like a
ding
ghost
dong,
together?
ding dong, man,
Guys,
ding dong, yo. They got Paul McCartney in the Weird Al version of hey, yo,
dong,
ding
yo,
dong, man,
ding
ding dong, ding dong, yo.
Oh, Weird Al. Speaking of Dangerous Minds, because of Coolio, we got Amish Paradise.
right, that's
and
right.
Coolio hated Weird Al.
I know.
And then they reconciled.
Yes.
And then he died.
Because he realized that he was being a bitch because he gave him the rights to the
Exactly.
song. He told him he could do it.
Dude,
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't even
Any-
know
any
that.
song Weird Al Yankovic ever parodied, he got permission from the
He
artist.
always got permission. Even though I don't think by law he even needed it.
Yeah.
No, I know parody laws. They cover
Yeah.
a broad ground, but there
Coolio
is
said it
a
was
little
cool.
gray area still.
It got
EO.
popular, and then he was like,
Yeah, maybe a little more popular than my own song.
What the hell happened?
that song was awesome. Man.
Both versions of that song are great, actually.
Yep.
Churn butter once or
That's
twice.
You know who makes the most money off that song? Stevie Wonder. They
Really?
sampled Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, no problem. Give me 95% of the
Get outta here.
royalties,
Oh,
and it's all yours."
Yeah.
Dude, Stevie Wonder. He
Because
knew how to
up
play
until
the
that
game.
point, he
knew how
was
to play
like,
the
he
game.
wouldn't let any rapper sample his music. He was like, no, and then they were like, they played the song. He was like, okay, give me like
He
95%
figured out how to
of
do it.
those.
That's awesome.
Publishing it.
Go Stevie
Go
Wonder.
for it.
Nice.
Dude
Part-time
making-
lover.
Yeah.
My baby
Make
loves
money
me,
when you're
but
not
she
working, man.
acts like I'm not there. Speaking of duets with Michael Jackson, that's a great song.
Cooley was big on sampling.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah, because they did the Fantastic Voyage song
yeah.
as a
Yeah.
sample. Yeah.
That was the in thing.
That was pretty popular.
Yeah,
back
it's
then.
fun
Still
to
kind
do.
of
and not
is.
that it was like a pop song, but I'll see you.
Slide,
I'll see you when you get there. When you get there from Nothing to Lose.
Oh, that's right.
it was Pachelbel's Canon.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I crossed myself.
Yeah, true. All right, rest in peace, Coolio. Thank you for Amish parents.
I crossed myself.
I crossed myself.
Yeah, I didn't point at
I
the
wish
sky.
you could
I
see.
didn't
You
kiss-
should.
I didn't kiss my fingers either. I just,
I always do. I always do
I
the
don't know
cross
why I
and kiss my
even did
finger
it. I'm
and I
not even
point out.
religious.
That's just touching the lips. Like, here, have some
No, it's-
herpes.
it's-
Like,
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch.
you gotta just
Kiss that shit to the sky.
All right.
I don't want it to be like erotic.
Well, you don't have to like stick your tongue out like Gene Simmons, but you know, like why not the whole lips?
No, I would.
You just
no,
touch your lip
no
like
way.
that?
I would. No.
You Frenching Jesus over there?
You go like this.
No, blow a kiss, Tony Bennett style. Keep it classy. Hey, who loves you? Kojak.
Who loves you?
Kojak. Kojak. That shit.
Lollipops. All that.
That's enough of this appetizer, man. It's going on for way too long. Thank you guys. Awesome picks.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oppum. That's how
Oppum?
great it is. I made up my own
Oppenheimer.
word.
Oppenheimer.
Are we ready for the main
Opa!
course?
Opa!
Oppenheimer.
Looks like you guys had some night, huh?
I want 30 sliders, 5 French fries, and 4 large cherry cokes.
I want the same, except make mine Diet Cokes. Chuck. Wow. Well, that comes to $46.75.
Movies about the men and women fighting the odds and rising above the rest have always been an inspirational joy for moviegoers everywhere. Rocky Balboa, Rudy, Daniel LaRusso, Sister Mary Clarence, Teen Wolf and Teen Wolf 2, Mac from Punch-Out, well, maybe not the last one. All movies centered around a character who defies the criticisms, obstacles, and hardships, rising out of the ashes like the mighty phoenix and donning the mantle of the champion. Personally, I've always been a fan of the underdog, especially when it comes to movies. Fright Night over Lost Boys, The Howling over An American Werewolf in London, Plan 9 from Outer Space over Independence Day. The underdog is a character that inspires hope in us all. Proof that in us lies the heart of a champion, and that nothing should stop us from aspiring to be the best in what we are passionate about. Unless you're a serial killer, then just ignore everything I've just said. Tonight's movie centers around an underdog, a young man who fights his way to the top, not merely for glory, but to better life for himself and his father. It's a movie that teaches us that the best way to fight is to not hit, but make sure the other guy misses. Just one of the many words of wisdom sprinkled throughout this action drama. So to guide us through this hard-hitting hero story, I now turn things over to Tito and his own words of wisdom as he guides us through Gladiator.
Thank you. You
Tito?
almost put Derek to sleep with that.
Sorry about that.
I'm up.
I thought it was great. Derek, I don't know.
Honey, wake up. We're almost there.
You know what it was? He looked up at the sun and then it,
what sun?
Made him
No, the whole time I was thinking, it's an underdog, not a underdog.
Oh, thank you.
It's an
underdog.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
WNBC. Yes. Of course.
This is street. This is how we talk in the streets, Derek.
We're in
the underdog.
We're in character.
Yeah, thank you.
That's it. 1992's Gladiator. It's the story of Tommy Riley, who is new to the south side of Chicago and is forced into an underground boxing thing of sorts for high school kids.
Did you call it a circuit? I was trying to think what it was called.
Circuit? I like that.
I was going to say syndicate.
Syndicate might work too.
Yeah. Syndicate?
Clubhouse? No, that's not menacing at all.
Boxing circuit for high school kids to help pay for his father's gambling debts is essentially where we are with Gladiator. Directed by Rowdy Harrington. Notable works: Roadhouse, Striking Distance, that gem, and A Murder of Crows. Have you ever seen A Murder of Crows? It was like a straight to DVD.
Yeah.
It's a good straight to DVD.
I know I've heard of it. I don't know if I've seen
Murder
it.
of Crows is a group of crows.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that this was about a murder.
Bingo.
Oh,
yeah.
damn.
Well, it's about a guy who.
See, Derek, you don't have to see it now.
Yeah,
it's Cuba Gooding Jr. wants to be a writer.
Oh, he's in that too?
And he's a terrible writer. So
is
a guy,
Cuba Gooding Jr. like his good luck charm? Like, does he use him in a lot of his movies or just those two?
He uses a lot of, Sizemores and Striking Distance and something else that he did. Roddy Harrington.
Strange Days, own Tom Simon.
Who else was in Striking Distance? Sarah Jessica
Your girlfriend.
Parker, who looks like a blocked punt.
The old block punt herself, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Face like a smacked ass.
It's all right, Sarah. I love you.
But Cuba Gooding Jr. steals, the guy dies, and he steals the manuscript for his book, which is better than anything Cuba's ever written, and it becomes a hit.
Oh,
the only problem
Then
is
he has to do a
that the story is essentially telling a murder that actually happened. And Cuba Gooding Jr. gets blamed for the murder.
Oh,
and
twist.
goes on the run. Yeah, it's cool. It's him and Tom Berenger is also in it.
Oh, I like Tom Barron.
It's not bad.
I do like Tom
I don't think
Barron.
it went to the theaters. This is a decent film, though.
And this is called A Murder,
of Crows.
Have to
Are there
seek
any
it out.
crows in it?
No, but
Well,
they
then that's
discuss the
ridiculous.
idea of, there might be like crows flying
Better
around in
see
the
at least
background
one
somewhere.
caw. Better hear one caw. Can't see a caw.
At
but
least
hear
2 caws.
I hear you like
From what I
cause.
remember. Cast in this film, we got friend of the show, James Marshall, as Tommy Riley. Cuba Gooding Jr. as Abraham Lincoln Haynes.
That's a great
I love
name.
that shit. Robert Logia, Pappy Jack.
Pappy Jack.
And Brian Dennehy as
Pappy Jack
Horn.
wasn't tall, but he was a man.
He was. Robert Logia kills it in this movie. I
He
love
does.
him. And Cara Buono as Dawn. I liked
Cute
her
as
better
hell.
when she still had the real thick eyebrows. I love those thick eyebrows.
She's in Stranger Things, and Sarah
She's
and
the mom.
I
Karen
did
Wheeler,
not
yeah.
realize this until after we saw the movie.
And you'll see her soon, but I don't know what season you're currently on Sopranos, but she's
Does she show up in that?
She's Kelly Moltisanti. She ends up Chris's wife at the end.
I don't even
sorry.
remember that.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, something else to
There
look
you go,
forward to.
Cara
'Cause She's
Buono.
awesome. I like her.
She was in The Cowboy Way with Woody Harrelson.
No, I never
and,
saw that.
I never saw that
Kiefer
either,
Sutherland. It's not good.
I get a fair
I'd
share.
let her do it. The cowboy.
I
I
knew
bet
that.
you
was-
would.
How about the reverse cowboy?
All over. Yeah.
all over.
Ex-friend of the show, Cara Buono. Nice to know you.
But
She was cute as hell in this movie, though. I'll tell you
take
that.
them adorable.
And we got another Mario Brothers connection.
I know. You spoiled it
Francesca
all.
Roberts, Miss
These are my
Higgins as
answers.
Bertha. Oh, is it?
Questions. Yeah.
I want to go back. Richard Edson, and we got. So we'll shoot for a third one next week if we can.
I know. Oh, that would
we
be
probably
great.
won't. We'll,
Oh, that'd be
that's
awesome.
probably the end of the.
Try. You never know.
Unless we do a John Leguizamo.
Find something with
movie.
Fiona Shaw.
I don't know why we didn't do a John Leguizamo.
I'm
Let's do Pump Up the
surprised.
Volume. That has Samantha Mathis.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I love Pump Up.
That's a great
yeah,
movie.
You're right. There is not one John
Hard
Leguizamo
Harry
movie
Hard
in
on.
here.
I saved you.
Surprised.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you. I owe you.
Let's talk
Let's just
some
do
of our
fucking some
favorite
Mario.
scenes. Let's do some fucking Mario. Favorite scenes, if we have any.
Start this one?
Yeah, we'll
You wanna
start with you. Why don't we start with
All
you?
right, cool. My favorite scene is Tommy talking Lincoln out of fighting each other. They got that great music done by Brad Fiedel, excuse me. Did the music for Fright Night and Terminator 2.
Oh,
Great.
Oh, that Brad Fidel.
That guy,
He doesn't
indeed.
do much around anymore, does he?
He does this movie. And you know what? The music's awesome in it. Great scene. Absolutely love James Marshall trying to talk Cuba Gooding Jr. out of fighting him.
When they're in the ring.
When they're in the ring, you know, he's trying to explain to him what Brian Dennehy's got planned, and he's struggling because it's a lot of money. Oh, it's just awesome scene.
That's
Really
very
loved
good.
it.
I like that scene. The one leading up to it, I think, is very good too. When he's initially trying to convince him, like, I'm not going to fight you, and he's like,
Yeah.
fuck with
Yeah,
me."
Yeah,
when
but when they're in there in the
Yeah.
moment and everybody's screaming and they're throwing money into, oh, it's awesome. Yeah, it's mine.
And Tommy's kind of laid back for most of the film. He's got a couple of scenes where he really goes for it, but he's got this. I don't know,
quiet
James Marshall
for the-
always had this kind of like doofus,
He kind of did.
quiet guy thing.
Yeah.
Like it works for him.
I'll get
but-
to it later, but I was impressed with him. in
Yeah,
this
I think.
movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, yeah.
The fight between Marshall and Dennehy. That fight was
that
great.
is a
great Yeah.
Favorite scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just him getting his ass kicked and then taking what he knows from him and using it against him. It was that
Pantses him.
Yeah, he totally
Yeah.
Pants, that's
steps on his
fucking-
foot and headbutts his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
Yeah, that's definitely one
Good
thing
fight.
about Tommy. He's learning
Yeah.
really quickly. Like he's learning on the job, essentially in a new environment that he has no experience with.
And it was nice to see the scene of him doing all that stuff to the
the second
who was
guy
the other
when
guy?
he's
The
practicing
second
in the
guy.
ring.
Oh, yeah.
He has that whole like where
You
he's
think you
teaching
could
the
knock me
lesson.
out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that fucking idiot.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
Like Derek, I really enjoyed the final fight between him and Dennehy. Derek touched on all the good parts.
Oh, sorry.
No. But I also like the original schoolyard fight scene where he's just out there having a smoke and he's approached by all the
The stormtroopers.
the stormtroopers with their all dressed in black with the red band on all their arms. That was a cool scene. The guy pulls a knife on him, and then the teachers come running out and break it up, and the guy just throws his knife up in the air like, "What knife?
Don't drop me.
Don't you drop me!" They freaking carry him away. They pick him up by his arms and legs. Don't you drop me!
Shortcut.
Yep.
That's where the phrase "red band trailer" came from, right?
Yeah, I like those two scenes.
That's
Yes.
I'm going with Brian. That's my favorite. The first introduction to Link. there's a few lines in that exchange that I absolutely love, but you also get 4 of the most important characters right there in one spot. You get Romano.
Yep.
He gets introduced to him. You get Tommy. You get Link.
And the
you
head
get
of the
Shortcut.
The head stormtrooper.
The bad guy. But there's a couple of when he's like, seeing how my stormtroopers are faring. How are your avenging angels? Close to God, brother.
Yeah.
Awful close to the wrath of God.
Yeah.
I love that line. And then he says, "Hello time, hello place," and pulls the switchblade.
Yeah.
When you're just like, oh, and you can see Romano in the background. He's just like, oh, this is no good.
Yeah.
And then I think it's hilarious that is it Spitz is the one that wears the bowler hat.
Yeah. Yes.
He uses the pseudonym joke so many times.
Oh, I know.
And he calls back. He's like, but
the first 30 minutes of that movie is all him.
Just
beating that horse.
Going for it. Yeah. But I really like how he's, Trouble's my middle name, and he stops and he says, Trouble's his, and he touches his hat. It says pseudonym. And then you're like, oh, it's fucking on, these guys. And then what I like most about Lincoln is that you get to see he's actually kind of fucking around with Shortcut.
Yeah.
Because he could hit him a couple of times, but he doesn't. He just avoids the knife and goes like he's going to punch him, and he just doesn't punch him because he's like, dude, I don't even need to beat you. I know I can win. That, and I love a good montage. So the montage with the Cheap Trick, I Will Survive song, which is just like one day of school, but it seems like a lifetime that they've been just knocking people out and practicing. It's only one day. That was just the one day at school. But I absolutely love that. And I love that song, I Will Survive by Cheap Trick. Hated scenes.
Honestly, didn't really have any. I mean, if I had to pick a scene that was less powerful than the others, it was really James Marshall and his dad.
Me too.
They're not bad scenes. They're just not as good as the others. They're fine scenes.
They're kind of unneeded. His dad is the worst anyway.
Yeah, and he's just kind of there. Right? They never really.
We've already set up that his dad is a shithead.
Yeah.
The debt collectors already show up saying we want the money, we want the $1,250. And due tomorrow, and it's because of your dad. You guys had to move from Bridgeport to here because of your dad.
You never get a resolution with it, really.
No, you really don't.
You don't know what happens to him. So I guess I would, if I had to.
Yeah, I agree. That's mine too.
Yeah, he's going to be on the road for 2 months. He just is set up. It gives Tommy a reason.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Which it makes sense. But yeah, those are kind of weak scenes.
I know you liked their conversation in the ring for that match between them, but that match, the second to last match, the Gooding and Marshall match, where it was kind of like it was just anticlimactic.
Didn't do it for you.
There wasn't a lot there just wasn't a lot of action, and I felt like there was one of the matches earlier in the movie. Felt like it was like the climax match. Like it was a better choreographed or shot match.
The one against him in Black Death.
You know what? I think it was.
Him in Shortcut.
I want to say the one
he fights Shortcut.
He does fight
after
Shortcut.
Romano
Marshall
ends up in the hospital.
Yeah, Marshall fight. Okay.
When he tries to get the
I mean there are a lot of matches, but it just. It didn't feel like this was like
but that
what we built up to, and I understand that he didn't want to fight him.
But you need it that way, so Brian Dennehy gets pissed off enough to get up
to get into the ring himself.
So it kind of has to be. I get what you're saying, but it almost has to happen that way to get to the actual showdown.
Yeah, really, really. In most cases, because I think it's really smart how they go to Brian Dennehy just being. He was a boxer. He knows how to fight. Because typically it might be like he hates Brian Dennehy, but Brian Dennehy's not going to fight. Link, who is like his bodyguard or whatever, would be the guy he fights at the end to get his, and then the cops show up and they take Brian Dennehy away.
Yeah,
something to that effect. But him and Link have that connection. Then they become friends. It bums me out every time I see the movie. I'm like, man, I want to see them fight so bad.
Yeah,
because they have. That's because it's like it's like a poor man's Rocky Apollo kind of situation. Like this dude's a bruiser. Got some skill. Link clearly is just like fucking fast on his feet, great boxer, very skilled. So that. I always want to see them fight. It always bums me out. You gotta.
No, I agreed with Mark. The scene with his dad. Always. I
never thought about those, but I'm gonna agree with you guys 100%. I had because I don't really have one either, but I would probably jump on that. But I was saying I wrote Romano his fight, and when he ends up in the hospital, just because it bums me the fuck out.
Yeah.
That he ends up in the hospital and he's fucking brain dead. It's just like. Kills me.
I'm watching Marshall try to get in there to stop it, and they just they're continuing to let him just pound him. Yeah, it was rough to watch.
It bums me out more than anything, but as far as weak and bad scenes, probably him with his dad and him calling Sharky and pretending like, hey, you ever come next to my kid again, I'll kill you. And then he has this look in his eyes like, I better get the fuck out of town right now. Right? So he'll be fine. I'll just leave. They won't ruin his TV. That kills me more than anything. If I had to watch that TV,
I know,
with fucking
marker
all over
Sharpie.
it, I would lose my fucking mind. I really would. I wouldn't break the TV there. I would keep watching it and just be angry the whole time.
You wouldn't have to worry about finding the remote, though.
You wouldn't.
There is no remote.
There's no remote.
No. Nope.
I am the remote.
I am the spoon. No.
Something. What would you change?
I have. Who would you replace? Is that the same thing?
We have that.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would change?
I mean, it's the same as replace, so I'm just going to combine those two. I'm really not a fan of. Is it John Seda who plays Ramon?
Yeah.
I think he's just kind of his performance isn't as powerful as the other guys. Like I think he was meant to be, or rather, have more of an impact than he did.
Yeah.
You know, he gets into the hospital.
He was his first friend.
Kind of bad.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like there should have been somebody with a little more power to it.
Well, and like that scene where Dennehy goes, go get him after he walks out, and then the next thing you see is Ramon coming out to like he comes running
wearing
out
a leather jacket and the hat and gives him the hat.
and they have this conversation, but the whole scene falls flat because it's like he doesn't change his mind, and so it's like, all right, well, shouldn't he be like turning and heading back, like defeated or something? Or it's kind of a weird character to put in.
It just sounded like he wasn't sure what to do. The actor, I mean, I don't think.
Yeah, and I don't think John Seda has he doesn't have a Cuban accent in real life.
Yeah.
He just has a regular, like no Cuban accent. But it's kind of, I think he's probably focusing so much on his accent. He is probably one of the weakest characters in the film.
Then I would probably have to go with that one.
But there is like this kind of, that scene is, I think, a moment for him to have a moment, and he doesn't. It falls flat. It's a flat moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it would have been better with a better actor?
I do.
Possibly,
I do.
yeah.
I think again, somebody who was a little more animated, maybe just with more energy. He sounded like he was trying to act, and he acted good, but it just felt like somebody who was doing the lines, say the lines and make some faces, but it didn't look like he was 100% comfortable with the role. It's kind of weird. I'd have to, I don't know. That's just what I got from it. I'm like, I think this guy needs to be bigger than this character needs to be bigger than he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. A little flashier, a little,
Flashier, there you go, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because he tries to do the
with the
money,
hat.
The money doesn't smell good, but it's, it's money.
Right.
Like Johnny, like Johnny in The Last Dragon.
Like Johnny in The Last Dragon.
Somebody
a little
with
fire,
a little
spice.
flair, a little thrill, spice. There you go.
Look him in the eye.
Sorry, Derek.
No, and it's funny. It's funny that you say that about how he seems like he should be it should be a bigger role or bigger character or something. Because the things I would change is the pacing and Cuba Gooding Jr. Like he needed.
Really?
Well, not I wouldn't replace him necessarily, although he was who I might replace.
That don't make no sense.
But I just the thing is he needed to be in it more. There was like like he's I don't know how big of a star he was back then, but I'm assuming that it was
Boys in the Hood already come out?
Yeah, I don't think he was too huge at this.
I just feel like he the character itself, like there wasn't a lot of build up. Like everything kind of just jumped around, and it was very this is happening, and then they don't really show explanation. It's more just he's got a kid. We didn't know that.
Right.
The first act of the movie, and
it's post Boys in the Hood, but he hasn't really. Yes. He does this. He's in a scene in A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
Judgment Night.
Well, so is James Marshall.
James Marshall. Yeah.
One of the convicted.
Which he's great in that.
No.
Hal.
Right.
Hal. I was watching this movie yesterday. Sidebar. I'm watching the movie with my wife. She was walking out the door, and there's a scene where Cuba Gooding says, no white boy ever tried to save me. My wife hears it. She turns around. She looks at the movie, and she's like, what do I know that white boy from? And she starts laughing to herself. And I'm like, A Few Good Men. And she's like, right. Okay. And then she walked out. But I just thought it was, because she heard the line and she was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
which is typically what happens in my house. What
Yeah,
the
it just kind of felt rushed through the movie. Like, and for being a movie that, no offense, but it felt long. Like, and I don't know if it's because I watched on Tubi and I had commercial breaks, unfortunately, but it did feel kind of like it dragged, but at the same time, it was just all over the place and kind of like the story seemed rushed. And we might as well do who I might replace. Probably Gooding. I said he wasn't really needed, which isn't really wrong. I don't know why I wrote that because
That don't make no sense.
It's apparent that he was needed
because you followed this movie up with Boat Trip
what's the one where he races with the dogs? What's that?
Snow Day or
something
Snow
to that
Dogs.
effect.
Was it
Snow Dogs? That's what it was. Snow Dogs.
So
but like nothing against him. It could have been anyone in that role. He's a great actor, and I just felt like he was wasted in this role. Like he didn't really get to shine.
He doesn't get as many. Yeah, I think there's probably 3 big moments for him. The schoolyard scene.
That's my favorite with him.
When him and Tommy are in the house, kind of having that conversation when they're running from Shortcut and the stormtroopers, and then that last big scene. Everything else is he's kind of in there, and he's just like the coolest guy at school is basically what I can tell. Like he walks around and
Well, I think part of the problem is that there were too many supporting characters around Marshall.
Yeah,
because he like if you're gonna show someone building up a relationship and that way I think that like between he has a girlfriend, he's got Ramon, he's got he's got Link, and then on top of it Ozzy
Davis.
Ozzy Davis. So it's like
so
you had to, like all these different scenes with these individual characters to like try to show the audience, oh, he's this is someone he's getting close with.
Yeah,
it just kind of was like because you had to divvy it up so much, you didn't really get a fully enveloped story or developed.
Enveloped.
Developed.
Envelope.
We took some pictures of the native girls, but they weren't developed. But we're going back again in a couple of weeks.
What about you, Big Bri?
I think I like where Derek was going with Cuba. I liked his character a lot, but like you, after that big scene with the in the schoolyard where he comes out and he's like all like
he takes off his fun hat and he puts on his fighting hat.
Exactly.
It's a great scene, and then he disappears.
He had so much swagger in that scene.
Yeah, that's true.
So much swagger, and it didn't seem to carry through the rest of the movie. I really wished it did. He had some tender moments with his wife, and like you said, when his kid was introduced, like kind of like backhandedly a bit, like, oh, hey, by the way, I have a family, and this is my daughter, and she's my life, and I call it my black beauty, my black beauty.
Yeah,
I don't think I would change him because I do like watching him. Like I said, he had that swagger. I just want more of that.
That's fair.
Like if they had gotten rid of Ramon completely and just had
they
him,
could have combined Ramon and Cuba into one character instead of
have
having
him build up him as a best friend, because that makes it all the more special when they have to fight each other. And,
exactly.
And, you're really more invested because it's like, oh, dude, he's been friends with him. Like all the stuff that
Tommy already has enough on the line. Does he really need the tragedy of Ramon basically being brain dead in the hospital and having to live with that? And he's already got like his dad is a shithead. He's living in this dirt apartment building, in the worst part of Chicago. He's the new kid. He's trying to fit in. He's trying to make his way. And it's just, like you said, so much.
Yeah.
So much. I don't think he needed that added thing with Ramon,
Yeah, it's true, because he's already got a reason to fight Shortcut.
Right, exactly.
Because of what's going on at school.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
you could have even, like, if you wanted to show just how ruthless Shortcut is, and you wanted that scene where he uses the acid or whatever the hell it was, like, you could have had him fight just anybody.
Right.
Like it did, he could have been watching the fight because he's fighting him next and he wants to learn, he wants to see how he does it.
Well, you've got Big Pappy, who's basically the diner is his office. He's always there on his fucking cell phone, talking to whoever, and he could have, how did he know that he could fight? What happened in the diner?
Oh, because Spitz and the two guys, they follow him out while he's
That's
taking
what
out
it
the trash.
was. That's what it was.
And he starts
But I
fighting
mean, you could have tightened that up even too. Like have somebody like try to rob the diner. and he has to fend him off with his bare knuckles, and Big Pappy sees it happen, and he's like, "Oh, hey, let me get on the cell phone. I got something big here going
Pappy.
on."
P as in
yeah,
Pappy. Hey, it's Pappy.
You got 2 more P's to go through, Derek. Where you going?
They just end right there. And on a high note. Hey, it's Pappy. That's hilarious. The only thing I would change is a real Link Tommy fight.
Yeah.
I would like to see a real Link Tommy fight.
Yeah.
I just think it would be fun.
Like maybe they fight at the beginning of him entering, like just kind of as a preliminary fight. And then after that fight is when they really start getting close.
Yeah.
And then they have that rematch where
that would
he
work.
doesn't want to fight him. You know what I mean?
I think it's tough. So I like that, but I think it's a little tough if you're thinking about like Horn and what his expectations are of the fighter and how to get the most money out of him. Like if he loses early, then it's just like there goes that fighter. You know, the Great White Hope is what they're he's hoping to get out of him. Yeah. I said hope twice.
That's okay.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Is there a scene that might make you stop watching this film?
What do I have? Oh, Tommy and his dad talking in their apartment as a standalone scene. If I was flipping, I'd be like, oh, it's one of these drama movies.
Yeah.
John Hurt's a shitty dad again.
If I landed on that scene alone, yes.
And
but
connected to the
thankfully,
mob.
that scene is only like a minute and a half.
I'm just saying
But
that's the only
I agree.
thing.
If I had landed on that, I'd be like, oh, no.
Because I mean,
I would have been like,
oh,
John,
I really enjoyed
John Hurd, what are you doing slumming
mine's
in this?
going to be more surprising but I'm looking at it as if I was flipping through the channels and I found this movie and this is the scene that was playing. It'd be the training stuff between Ozzie Davis and Marshall.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I only say that because as soon as they introduced his character, which he's a great actor. I love Ozzie Davis. I loved him in this, but every boxing movie or TV show or video game always has the same tropes. And
this movie was definitely full of cliches.
Oh yeah,
you
totally.
Can't...
So I think that if I was flipping through and I saw that, I'd be like, oh, this is not Rocky.
Yeah,
it's Rocky. So
yeah.
I'll pass.
It's a generic Rocky.
Yeah, like you said,
it's a Rocky wannabe.
It's the poor man's.
It's Rocky Light.
Rocky.
It's Rocky Light.
Rocky Light.
Right. So I can see, to your earlier point, I could see how maybe, because Carl Weathers isn't in a lot of Rocky, but everything he's in, he fucking steals.
Yeah.
Like he's just fucking awesome.
We go
He's
back
just
to
awesome.
personality and
So I
performance.
can see you thinking that.
But Ozzy doesn't even really do
He's
that.
got charisma.
Oh, no.
like-
I mean, even like the Lincoln character, maybe Cuba Gooding, because you're
Right.
like not as.
Yeah.
I think he's fantastic when he's on the screen, but I could see if we're
I-
thinking Rocky Light, like fucking Carl Weathers is
yeah.
fucking
Oh yeah.
crushing it every time he's on.
No, it's
screen
good, but
in
I
the
agree
movie.
with Brian too. He's not on there enough. I mean, I like
Yeah.
Cuba
Yeah.
Gooding
And when he
he's
is, he
fine.
doesn't. Like I said, he doesn't have that same energy that he had in the schoolyard fight. He doesn't have that flash. He doesn't have that swagger.
Even in
he kind of
his
becomes
fight,
family
that's
man. I'm
true.
doing this for the
That's
family.
true.
And,
Yeah.
he loses that, and you forget like this fucker's in school.
Oh no, right? They're all in high school.
I
now.
forget I know they're all in school.
I know. Well,
actually.
first of all, they're all like 30 years old
Yeah,
playing.
well,
Teenagers.
Well, that's the thing
It was a different
his
time.
girlfriend is 16.
Yeah.
He's probably like 16, 17, and
Right.
they got a little kid, and they're fucking all kids. It's fucking nuts.
Kids having babies having babies.
Babies having babies. Boxers having babies having babies. I don't have a scene that I would stop him. Well, I fucking love this movie. So.
Did you do yours?
But if I stopped,
Yeah,
I agreed with you on the.
okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Although if I still wouldn't, because I'd be like, what the fuck is James Marshall doing in this movie?
That's true.
With
Actually,
the dad
seeing
from Home
James
Alone,
Marshall-
I might give it like a minute.
Kevin McAllister as an adult.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too. This movie came out just before or just after?
If it's
I think it was
91, just after.
just
Home
after,
Alone.
because Home Alone was 90.
Right.
So this
Trying
is
to
just
get his
proving
street
that
cred
John
back.
Hurd
It
is
is-
the worst dad in existence.
Yeah.
Oh, but
and involved with the mob.
And involved with the mob.
And he's in Big around this point too, where he plays a prick.
The Big came out in the late 80s. So yeah.
Yeah, he's in the mob. See,
Yeah, so he's
Mila,
continuing
I
that
told you.
streak.
These are like the only three movies I know him from. Was like Home Alone, Big. When I remember seeing him in Home Alone and thinking, oh, that's a dick from Big.
He played in a movie that was...
That like wrestles him on the racquetball court.
It was Andrew McCarthy in a Catholic school, and he played like one of the teachers that was a monk. That was the first thing I ever saw him in.
Kevin McCarthy.
Remember that one?
Yes.
Kevin Dillon was in it too. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. He played like brother something. He was a teacher at this Catholic school.
hell is
It took place in the 60s.
Yeah.
In like New York, and
I thought you were gonna go-
was it Mayor, not Mayor Winningham? Who was the blonde chick with the short hair? She was cute as hell.
He's like the good one though.
She was in Some Kind of Wonderful.
There's a fucking.
Who was the one from Some Kind of Wonderful?
Played and fried green tomatoes.
What the hell's her name? But she was the other. She was the chick in
Mary
Stewart.
Mary
Stewart
Masterson.
Yeah. Yep. She was in it with them.
Heaven help us.
Heaven help us.
Yeah. There's like the shitty one that like spanks one of the kids in front of everybody.
Yes.
You sir, may I have another.
Yep.
I thought we were going to go Diner.
Donald Sutherland.
Remember
Andrew
John
McCarthy?
Hurd in Diner? That's a strange movie.
Never seen that movie.
Well, you should see it because it's strange.
Yeah. Okay.
It's there. It's drama. Daniel Stern.
Oh, Wallace Shawn.
Kevin Bacon. It's good for your Kevin Bacon.
I haven't seen that movie in about 30 years, Tito.
Oh my God, I remember this.
Yep.
Catholic. Heaven help us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, son.
That was a fun. It was a funny movie, but it had some deep moments to it too.
We should watch that.
I think we should.
Heaven help us. If we do,
we'll have a John Hurd marathon.
Should we? No, really? Is that really needed? Let's think about this.
You guys replace someone? You have someone to replace?
I already said mine.
I already said mine too.
Cuba, what about you?
Would I replace anybody? I really don't think so.
Yeah,
no, I don't think so. I think it was.
I wouldn't either.
I think it was perfectly cast.
Yeah, so do I.
I can't think of anybody else in those roles.
Yeah, it works.
I mean, what's his name? As Tommy, he was James Marshall. He was passable. You know, I'm sure you could get like any white kid to play that, but he was passable.
Yeah, he has some. I didn't watch this movie, and A Few Good Men are the only things I ever knew him from because I didn't watch Twin Peaks until I was in my 30s.
Oh, that's right. He was in Twin Peaks.
Yeah. And then I always thought like, oh, whatever. I always liked him in this and him in A Few Good Men. And then I was like, oh, shit. James Marshall's in Twin Peaks. And he kind of has that similar. It's just kind of this. But he has a couple of moments where he shines in this movie, I think. When he's talking to Link those couple of times.
Yeah.
When he's fighting Horn, he's showing some range, which I really, really liked. Which in Twin Peaks, I always felt like he was just kind of flat across the board.
Yeah.
But I always feel like maybe that's a David Lynch thing and maybe not a James Marshall thing.
We'll get to it.
I wouldn't replace anybody. No, I like him. I like him in the role. I think he's good in it. Award for What Are You Doing in This Movie? You got any
That's
nominees?
a tough one.
Well, I was.
That's a tough one.
I was gonna go John Hurd.
I was gonna go John Hurd, but then Ozzie Davis is also in this movie.
So that didn't have an in. I mean, you could be right. I'm not saying you're wrong. For me, it's always like when I go, oh, why are you here? And for some reason, Ozzie Davis fit in this movie.
Yeah.
And John Hurd was just, the Home Alone guy. Is he's fresh? I don't know. But then I saw Big Bertha from frickin' Mario Brothers, and I'm thinking of changing my answer to that because when I saw her, I was like, holy shit, Super Mario.
And which one was Big Bertha?
She's the teacher.
She was the teacher? Oh, okay.
Big Bertha.
Yeah.
Francesca
Right.
Big Bertha Roberts. That's
all right.
She's got a great line. Before you girls get pregnant.
And
some of you guys end up in jail. It's like, oh my God.
Dude, she's awesome. And I'm like, why didn't they let her speak in Mario Brothers?
We're going to read Mark
Did she
Twain.
not want to? She's
great. After class, she goes home, she puts on her red vinyl and her boots and
dances with little Englishmen pretending to be Italian.
That's it.
Hides amulets in her large boobs so Mario can fish it out.
He's Mario.
Because it's a kid's video
Luigi
game.
Mario. Yeah. It wasn't until you guys explained it to me that I realized she was supposed to be the fish.
Yeah. I only found that out after reading something. Was he you that told me that? Derek, you did tell me that. I remembered.
Oh, I skipped this last time too.
You jerk.
What doesn't work today? What might not work today?
I think maybe the idea of a small family-run diner, since those don't, those really don't exist anymore.
That's a good one.
If that's all you got there, this is a pretty good movie.
No, and I was gonna say, and also the idea of leaving a high school kid alone for a month. Like, I don't think that would fly.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
You'd have family services all over.
I feel like back then,
yes,
absolutely back then, but I don't think that. I mean, I spent my senior year of high school on my own. My mom had moved in with my now stepfather. And, she didn't want, I didn't want to have to switch schools, so she let me finish out my senior year, and I stayed at the house. But guaranteed that wouldn't happen now. The minute that someone, the wrong person hears about that, or hears that a kid's alone and his father is out selling stuff, ice to Eskimos, as he says.
Ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves.
Tommy boy.
Tommy,
Speaking of Brian Dennehy. That's a good one. I couldn't think of any. I like that one.
I didn't have anything either.
Yeah.
Brian, you got anything?
No.
The boxing.
I think about these things.
Underage boxing rings.
That shit goes on anyway. Don't talk about Fight Club.
People just showing up. I like the Robert Logia character. He's very fun, and there's this other storyline there that never gets fleshed out, where he wants to be Horn.
Yeah.
Like you can tell he wants. Well, for now he's in charge.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I'm the one that. Like there's that other story. There's probably like 20 minutes.
Like you're
of film
expecting
cut
him
out.
to like turn on him and or
step
screw him
in
over
or do
somehow.
something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But you never get that. How does it stack up against other films? So I don't know if you want to go boxing specifically. Rocky,
underdog movies,
Fighter, Creed, Raging Bull, Girl Fight. As far as boxing movies, or an underdog film, how does it stack up?
$1 Million Baby.
$1 Million Baby.
That's it. It's in the
I think
middle somewhere. It's a
it,
very good movie.
I was surprised at how well I like this movie, so I would give this one like the high middle of the pack.
Yeah.
I
have to agree.
Yeah. It's definitely not the worst of the sports underdog boxing movies that are out there, and
that'd be $1 Million Baby.
What, you don't like that one?
You know, I've never.
You just
seen
don't.
That
You just don't like Hilary
entirety.
Swank.
I don't like her, but that's not why.
I've never seen that movie all the way through.
Yeah.
$1 Million
Well, I
Baby?
found out how it ended, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't
Same.
need to see it.
I didn't because
I
don't want to. I know what's going to happen. I don't need to be depressed.
I love boxing movies.
Yeah.
I just never got around. And then I saw bits and pieces of it, and I was like, well, I know how it ends. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
It's parodied in one of the scary movies anyway. Watch it on there. It's fine. I can't remember which one.
It's not. Yeah, it's probably middle of the pack for me too. Although I watch it quite a bit. I mean, I might say it's probably better than a couple of the Rockies, but yeah, kind of middle pack boxing film. MVP.
I'm going James Marshall, honestly, because of everything you said about Twin Peaks. I'm a huge Twin Peaks fan, and James was one of my least favorite characters on that show for the reasons you described. He is one of the most uninteresting characters in this show. He's supposed to be tough, and he doesn't come off that way. And I was really not a James Marshall fan. I was kind of indifferent to him. So when I saw he was the lead in this, I was going to be like, oh, this is going to kind of suck. Because I already know who I'm going to play. But he really surprised me at how tough he got in this movie, how good he was. His acting, I thought, was solid.
He did good with the boxing, too.
And he was great with the boxing. So again, just knowing how I felt about him in Twin Peaks, this was a huge step up, and I want to acknowledge that.
So let me ask you a question. So earlier, do you think that's more Lynch, or do you think that's more James Marshall?
That's more James Marshall.
Okay.
That's more, because there were other bikers kind of like James Marshall who were supposed to have that, quiet one as opposed to normal bikers. They were meant to be the poets in the show. They hang out at the bar and they see all the singers.
Yeah.
So they were all a little more artsy, and that was Lynch. But James just didn't come off like he had kind of like. What's his name in this movie? He didn't really have
in other roles
charisma.
too. He's usually that he's quiet. He doesn't really say much, and
he's kind of there to brood. He does a lot of brooding in Twin Peaks.
You almost wonder do they cast him because he can't? He's not very good with lines.
Well, they cast him because he could play guitar real good. And they have the scene when he's singing in the living room with Cheryl Lee.
That song, that ballad,
that horrible song.
Oh, I love that song.
It's cringeworthy.
So this is the opposite for me. I saw this movie first, and when I was watching Twin Peaks, I was like, "Oh shit, Tommy Riley's in this movie, in this show," and it made me like his character more.
Oh wow! But is that because you saw him in a
something else first? Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I do. I feel that way too. Like he's pretty flat, but because I liked him, I'm an actor guy. So if I see somebody who does something I like, I see him in something else, I'm automatically gonna forgive some of it,
right?
Or most.
Well, you felt that way about Kyle MacLachlan, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I fucking hate Kyle MacLachlan until I saw Twin Peaks, and I was like, this guy's awesome.
Gotcha.
And now I absolutely love him.
Anybody else?
Dennehy, Brian fucking Dennehy. He's so great in the role, and he's believable as not only a guy who would be like running a place like that and kind of being shady, but he looks like an older guy who could fuck you up.
Yeah, he looks like an old timey boxer too.
Totally.
Like he did box.
The Cole Meany in Far and Away.
Oh man, I fucking love that.
I feel like he modeled him like his role, his for him his scenes.
Is that the Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nicole Kidman,
yeah. And Cole Meany is the guy from Con Air.
Yeah, he's Chief O'Brien on Star Trek.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah.
You don't have to tell me who. You don't have to tell me who Cole Meany is.
All right.
Also on Deep Space Nine. And
Cole Meany's nuts, Derek.
But in Far and Away, he's this like Irish boxing club guy.
He was also in The Commitments. He was in The Snapper.
Oh, I love
was in,
Commitment. I love The Commitments.
It's a good movie.
He's also in Dick Tracy for like 5 seconds.
Who is this Cole Meany you speak of?
I'm fucking sorry. All right.
Tell me a little bit about Cole Meany, Derek.
No.
You guys ever see Hell on Wheels? It starred Cole Meany.
I hear he has an Irish accent.
Can I add to your pick real quick?
Absolutely.
Hold 1 second.
Fuck all you fucks.
Brian Dennehy is a good one. A scene that I love too that I should have mentioned is when he fights the boxer in the beginning. And he takes him out, and then he's smiling, and he's got all the blood in his teeth.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Brian Dennehy as a tough guy, sweet old guy, Tommy Boy's dad. I don't think I've ever seen him as a villain.
No, I have.
What movie?
He played a guy called Cobb in Silverado. He was in Silverado. He's the one who went up against Kevin Kline at the end.
Oh, wait a minute. I have seen. Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, they came out just before this movie.
Yeah, how the
and
West
I
was
thought,
fun.
See, I thought that he was playing the same character. Like I could see Cobb. Because that was the first time I had seen him as a bad guy. And I'm like, oh, he's just doing his Cobb shtick. You know, he's smiling. He's kind of playing with his food before he does his damage, you know. And it's exactly what he did in Silverado against Kevin Kline's Peyton character.
Cool. Yeah, no, I thought he was a great villain. Good choice, Derek.
I agree. He's a good villain in this movie. And he doesn't have a lot. He's not doing a lot in the film.
No.
But when he's on the screen, he's doing.
No, he does enough.
Fucking knocking
so
it out of the park.
Sarah, same thing. Sarah walked in halfway through, sat down. What do you watch? I'm like, oh, this Gladiator. It's a Tito pick. Oh, cool. She was really into it.
Yeah, my wife too.
By the end of it, she's like screaming at James Marshall, punch him in the face, punch him. In
punch him in that. Give him brain damage.
James Marshall can't hear you.
He hits on the top of his head.
A
few times. It's like, why don't you just undercut him?
Exactly.
And he's so menacing. He's taunting him. He pantses him like you said. He's creeping around like this. He's almost dancing.
He's not even making
he's
fists.
Almost doing the thriller dance.
He's like
claws.
He's being all villainous. I don't want to say it's hamming it up because that sounds kind of insulting. But it's definitely he's having fun with this role.
Oh yeah, because he's like, I'm gonna beat this kid. There's no way. He knows exactly what Tommy Riley can do and can't do in the ring.
I was going to pick Brian Dennehy as my MVP, but I don't think I can because of I started watching it after he got into the ring, and I'm like, oh, he's just Cobb.
So you had seen it.
I had seen it before, and I'm like, no, I don't think I can do it, and I think you've swayed me to pick Marshall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
because I would love to pick Cuba, but he wasn't in it enough for me as I wanted him to be.
What about you, Tito?
I'm going Cuba.
All right.
Gooding Jr.
Baby, I am not from Havana.
That opening. I love the opening. It's got the Seal song playing in the beginning, which is just phenomenal. And it's just him, and you're seeing Chicago. He catches the ball, he shoots the 3-pointer, and then you get introduced to Lincoln, and I just think that scene is just so fucking good. Like, I love it. I watched it a few times yesterday, just the scene. And then he's just got some great moments. Even in the montage, he does the backflip, which I absolutely love. And the moment with him and Tommy in the house. And I feel like he helps James Marshall a lot, and I feel like a lot of people are helping James Marshall in this film, but
he gets by with a little help from his friends.
Yeah, but he's doing. I feel they're pulling a lot out of him. I think based on like my prior knowledge of James Marshall.
Boy, what did you eat?
Yeah, right. It's just like he's doing good stuff. Because then you have like scenes with him and Ozzie Davis. The weakest scenes are with him and like Dawn, or him and like Romano. They're just okay, but like when he's on the screen with like a really good actor like Logia, like Dennehy, like Cuba Gooding Jr., I think he's just doing. Now I think I changed my pick to fucking Tommy, to James Marshall.
Yeah,
I just talked myself into James Marshall, but I think Cuba Gooding is like really. I love his scenes in this movie. I think he's really dynamic in it.
He was, but no more so than that initial schoolyard fight. that was his time to shine.
His best scene.
Yeah.
I will agree on that.
And I really wish he was more of the same character throughout the rest of the movie.
Does it make the rotation, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yeah.
What kind of rotation?
I'd watch it, yeah.
What are we talking? Tomorrow?
Once a year for me.
Yeah.
It's a once a year kind of movie.
I could watch it at least once a year.
Yeah.
If
somebody wanted to watch it and I had already watched it.
Now that I know that it's out there, because before last week, Tito, I had no idea this movie even existed. And now I would watch it at least once a year. And if I stumbled on it, I would probably stop and watch it to the end, no matter where it's at. So.
Dark?
I would stop and watch it if it was on TV, but I'm not going to make an effort to see it again.
Sure.
Which it pains me to say, because so far I've liked.
We were
all
doing
of your
really
picks.
good. We were doing really good.
You had a good streak.
Well, we added 3 to the mix, so that's.
I mean,
okay.
it's good. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, like I said, I've seen these types of movies before, and if I wanted to watch a boxing,
it was
movie,
definitely cliched.
It wouldn't end up being this one.
And it had all the cliches in it.
Totally.
But I still got the feels, like the fight with him and Link. I'm like, he's concerned about the brain bleed. I'm not gonna fight you, and I'm like, oh come on, yeah, you can't do it. You can't.
Don't hit him in the head.
I'm like, don't do it, don't do it. But then fucking Dennehy picks him up and throws him outside the ring.
Right on the head. He goes, backhands him, and he flies up over the ropes.
He is flung like a rag doll.
Oh my God.
Man.
I probably like,
and I thought he was done right there. I was like, oh fuck, there goes.
I would like seek the Brian Dennehy scenes on YouTube.
Yeah,
because like I really did enjoy him.
Yeah,
and
he's a great actor. He really is.
Is it Carla or no Cara? Right,
Cara Buono.
Yeah. Like she was beautiful.
Oh yeah, she was adorable.
I really liked her.
Yep, she was a great character. And I got to say, we were talking about like, what are you doing in this movie? There was like a 30-second scene with her mom, Millie, who owns the diner. And I paused and I'm like, is that Linda Lavin? I thought it was Linda Lavin from Alice, from, what?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. When she's talking about if he breaks the dishes.
Yeah,
like,
yes, exactly. It was like 30 seconds she's on screen, and I'm like, is that Linda Lavin? Yeah, that's who I thought it was. But it wasn't. I had to look in the IMDb immediately. I'm like, oh, no, it's not her.
Yeah.
I even asked Kathy, I'm like, is that Alice?
A reasonable facsimile.
That's what we're going to call her.
If you guys were going to make a sequel of this movie, how would it go?
All right, here we go. Out for revenge, Jimmy Horn has Tommy's dad killed. At this time, Tommy has managed to find himself becoming the same sort of mentor Ozzie Davis was to him, to young and up-and-coming fighters. He's called back to his hometown in Chicago and learning of his dad's death. Looking up his old friend Lincoln, Tommy discovers that Horn has threatened Lincoln's family unless he fights Tommy to the death, owing Horn that fight he was promised in the first film. This time, however, it's not for money, but for simple revenge. Horn also informs Tommy that if he doesn't fight Lincoln to the death, then he'll have Dawn, now Tommy's wife, killed. It's Tommy and Lincoln's loyalty to their friendship versus the loyalty to their family, which will win.
Is there a back-to-back fighting scene is what I want to know. Do
can
Lincoln
be.
and Tommy go back-to-back?
Yes.
Because I'm in 100%.
You know I love those team-ups, man.
I need they stop mid-fight, and then they go back-to-back, and then they're just fighting people.
I'm working off that scene that I loved, man. For whatever reason, it just stuck out to me. Everything about that scene was like, this is so cool. They're going to fight. Are they? Are they not? I'm so invested in this. That's mine.
I like that.
Thank you.
You really kicked it up a notch.
Yeah.
I like this movie.
Mine was similar. Dennehy, hell-bent on revenge, vows to destroy Marshall. He kills his father, forcing him to come back to the ring and risk his health and happiness. Gooding would be his ring man as he was retired due to his head injuries. Dennehy would tempt Gooding with money to help his own family. And Marshall would end up trained by Rocky, making it a crossover shared universe.
Wow.
In between.
Dude, you brought it to a new level, Derek. Yeah. Nice job.
I like those.
Between helping Donnie, he's helping.
It's funny. As I was watching this movie, I was writing the sequel in my head because I really thought that they were going towards Tommy fighting Link. And I thought that was going to be the climax. And I'm like, well, how cool would it be in the sequel if Tommy had to fight Dennehy? and then it happened, and I'm like, well, there goes my movie. I got my sequel right here.
That's awesome. my sequel involves a power vacuum happens because Brian Dennehy gets arrested. Let's say he goes to jail, and because we have that underlying story of Pappy Jack steps in.
You want to see more of that?
Pappy Jack steps in, and
Pappy Jack wasn't tall, but he was a man.
P as in please God, stop calling me.
Crunch me. Crunch me. I like that part. Crunch me. He takes over, right? Him and his goon, and he manages Link because he actually wants Link to be a legit boxer and be big time and have lots of money. And he takes him pro. But word spreads of the guy who almost beat Link, Tommy Marshall, and there's a buzz, and they want them to fight because Link has yet to lose. And that's when we finally get that fight where they duke it out like buddies. It's all legit. No kicks to the head. And that's my sequel.
Wow, so we all really want this fight.
I guess so.
And we all want John Hurt dead.
Yeah,
That's what I've learned from this.
He's the worst dad ever.
Worst dad ever, yeah. Yeah, he's like a one-legged man.
Because the son, because Tommy loves him, but we, the audience, could care less.
Yeah,
so it's easy kill. Go ahead. Just
he
take
tries
him out.
to. He tries to no, he's better now.
Yeah.
He's better. He doesn't gamble anymore. And
he's feeling all better.
He didn't
now.
ruin my
All
life.
better
He didn't.
now.
Yeah,
All better now.
he's only $15,000 in debt now. It could be worse. I got to pay it off. It's cool. I'll take care of it.
There's got to be a fun fan theory link between John Hurt and his asshole characters, from Big to idiot dad in Home Alone to fucking the dad in this, and then to his god-awful performance in Sharknado. Where he's he's an old drunk, perverted drunk in that movie.
Yeah.
I feel like if we put our heads together, we could come up with a theory.
Tommy finally wised
We don't
up
have
and
to. I
stopped
just feel
paying
like
his-
we could.
He's probably not acting in Sharknado.
Well, no, he's
probably
dead
really
now.
is. I know, but I mean,
but-
when he did, he probably really was a drunk pervert.
He's dead?
Totally. Yeah, he passed
yeah.
away.
Yeah, he died like last year,
Yeah.
the year before.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, not that long ago.
Oh, R.I.P., man. Sorry.
Yeah.
R.I.P. John.
Yeah, now who's making the sign of the cross? No one.
Oh, sorry.
You guys really hate John
I feel
Hurt.
like I'm
That,
smoking.
You made my stomach turn when you did that. It was like, oh,
It's awful.
my skin was crawling watching that.
It's your move, man. You just haven't seen it from your
That's
side.
true. I haven't seen anybody
That's
watch
how you
me
look.
do it.
Oh,
No,
obviously, it's like I'm looking into a mirror.
No, you look a lot better doing that.
That's all right.
The audience has no idea what we're doing, so it sounds gross.
No worries.
Final thoughts? Final thoughts?
I love this movie.
Yeah,
That's why I made you guys watch it.
I really liked it.
I think this might be. We haven't gotten to your last pick, but so far this might be the one I like the most. I mean, it's a toss up between this and Raid, but I loved Raid because that's the movie I'm usually into. But for movies I'm not always into, this really had me.
Yeah,
I wanted to do a sports
Yeah.
movie, and I had a
Yeah.
bunch running through my mind, and this one popped into my head, and I watch it frequently. And I was like, oh, I think they might.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
might be cool.
Yeah,
Great
I'm a
characters.
sucker for a good underdog
Great
movie. And
cast.
this one,
I am too, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Even
this one did it for me.
you've had
You've
better.
had better.
Teen Wolf,
But not many.
Teen Wolf,
I've had better.
Teen Wolf too.
Teen Wolf too.
I've had better.
Anybody else?
That was Liar Liar.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm kicking my ass.
The pen is blue. The goddamn pen is blue.
Do we have anything else before we go to
No.
Geek Flag?
No.
What's making our Geek Flag fly? I don't have anything.
No, I got a few
I've
things.
been very busy.
I got one.
watched
Who
it.
wants to go?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I watched
go
this
ahead.
show.
I got to get my laptop.
The two people at work told me about, and I finally watched it. It's called Kaleidoscope.
Oh,
Has anybody
with
seen this fucking show?
Esposito there.
Giancarlo
Yeah.
Esposito. Rufus
I haven't seen it
Sewell's
yet.
in it.
I want to see it.
No, I haven't.
It's on Prime, right?
It's on Netflix.
Rufus Sewell from
from Dark City.
Dark City. Oh,
Yeah,
wow, nice.
Jai Courtney, who played Captain Boomerang, is in it.
Oh wow.
And fuck, what is her name? I love her. So it's basically
Maria Conchita Alonso.
I wish. I wish.
Rosie Perez.
Oh, Billy.
Billy.
What is a queen?
Paz Vega, excuse me, Paz Vega. She was in The Spirit also.
Leaving Paz Vegas.
So
Who was she in The Spirit?
I don't
I
remember.
love that movie.
She's
It's
one of,
it's one of those movies.
She's one of the really hot women that's in that movie.
Oh, okay. That narrows it down.
She's
the black-
Argentina.
Black and white Sin City looking one.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's a horrible movie, by
Each
the way.
episode is a different color, right?
Oh,
So
hence the
there's-
name.
Yeah. So it starts with a 2-minute intro, which is black, and then you hit play, And apparently you can watch it 40,000 different ways.
I heard
it never
there was
plays
something...
the same episode twice, depending on when you're watching it.
Oh, that's cool.
So my viewing of it is different from your viewing of it, his viewing of it, your viewing of it.
Really?
So when I started, it started with orange, then I went to yellow, then I went to blue, then I went to green, then it goes to violet.
There's some kind of randomizer as far as...
It's weird. And it's just like the color, it's like watching it through tinted...
No, so that color is always present in each episode. Like there's pink in the background, somebody's wearing a green hat. The last episode is always white. And in the white episode is when you get all of the answers. But each episode is, so one episode is 27 years in the past, one episode is 6 months in the future. It's about a bank heist. They're trying to break into a vault. And you know what happens 6 months after they break into the vault. You know what happens the day after. You know what happens 14 years before. But you don't know what happened the day of until the final episode. And you will always see it in a different order when you watch it.
Huh.
It's fucking awesome.
That is cool.
It's very good.
And I love Giancarlo Esposito.
He's great in it.
Great.
Rufus Sewell's excellent. Everybody's really, really good. Jai Courtney is very Captain. He's very Captain Boomerang-ish. And one of the main characters, I don't know him from anything, but he reminds me.
Die Hard 4's Jai Courtney?
Yeah, right. he reminds
He's never
me a lot
made a
of,
bad film.
Jack Quaid from The Boys. One of the actors. So he has that very likable thing about him, and he reminds me a lot of that actor. But it's really, really cool.
Nice.
I watched it over the weekend, and it was fun as hell. Because you know what happens 6 months later, and you're just like, fuck. Yeah. So as you're watching it, you're also trying to put the pieces together because somebody gets screwed over, and you're not sure who's the one screwing who over.
That's cool.
And it's always showing you a little bit of something, so your mind's constantly like, oh, maybe it's this person who did this, or maybe it's that person. But then you get a little piece of something else. But you're always getting that piece in a different order.
Nice.
But great show, Netflix. Check it out. It's 8 episodes. A lot of fun.
I will do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
So
right?
I've got a few things. I'm going to keep it quick. I wanted to mention this last week, but I saw on Starz has all the Spider-Man movies. Disney Plus doesn't. And remember in September, they did the extended cut. They re-released Spider-Man No Way Home with like 15 minutes of added footage. Well, now they're showing it on Starz.
Oh.
And I watched it, and it's pretty good. A lot of the new footage has to do with like the 3 Peter Parkers together, which is cool because you get more of them interacting and you know doing their thing together.
Was fun.
That was probably one of the best parts of the movie. So to see a little bit more of that was good. The other scenes, I don't even know where they inserted it. It might have been something extended or whatnot, but a lot of it had to do with the 3 Peter Parkers, which was cool. So if you guys get a chance,
how long is it?
It's 15 minutes over what the other one was, which I don't think was overly long. So.
No, I felt like it flew when I saw it.
Yeah. So you might not even notice than Tito. Jack Ryan season 3. I binged it all last weekend. Awesome. If you guys have watched that, that's on Prime.
What's John Krasinski like?
He's good. He's really good. He's really good.
I've never seen it. And I don't know if I can get past John Krasinski, but
have you seen Zero Dark 30?
No, and
he's in that
Catherine
too.
Bigelow.
Yeah, he's in that too. And he's really good. He's surprising. Like, did you see the horror movie he did, the Quiet Place?
Yes.
Yeah. So
and
it's more
like
of that.
Yeah.
It's more of that kind of intensity.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you got to put past the fact that he was in the Office.
He was Jim.
Yeah. Also, Letterkenny season 11 came out. Only 6 episodes, but
that
I also
show's 11 seasons.
11 seasons. I had no idea. I started watching that last year. You guys had talked about this. It's funny. It's very funny.
It is funny.
So I binged that because it was easy to get through that. Like I said, 6 episodes, half hour long. That's on Hulu. And the Mandalorian season 3 trailer dropped.
Oh, it dropped on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, during halftime. Yeah, and that looks really, really cool. Yeah, I can't wait for that. So that kicks off March 1st. And that's what's making my geek flag fly, gentlemen.
Nice.
Excellent.
The next big comic book audio podcast, scripted podcast thing drops on Spotify. All episodes drop on the 31st of January. It is called Sound Mind, and it is about Harley Quinn, but as Dr. Harleen Quinzel.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So it's Christina Ricci.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah, she's playing a fresh out of med school Harleen Quinzel working at Arkham. It's an origin story with a twist. I guess she doesn't just like fall for the Joker. She actually kind of takes advantage of him and uses him. The Billy Magnuson, who was in Into the Woods, he was one of the princes. and game night will portray the Joker. Justin Hartley, who is from This Is Us, and he's the original Aquaman from the Smallville series.
Oh, okay.
He ended up being
he was Oliver
Green
Queen.
Arrow.
Yeah,
right.
Yep. He's going to be Batman and Bruce Wayne. Cool. Stephen Root, Amy Sedaris, and Elias Casey Jones Codius are also listed in the cast.
Oh, can't wait. That sounds awesome.
And and they're dropping all of the episodes at once on
that's
end of the month.
Good. Yeah.
And it's on Spotify?
On Spotify.
Cool.
Yep.
Done by the same people that did the Batman one from last year?
So, yeah. Which it was...
what was that one called again? I love that.
That was Batman Unburied.
Unburied. I wanted to say Unbound, but I knew that wasn't right.
The Riddler stuff in that was so good.
Yeah, it really was.
The end of it was like, I want the Riddler back.
Yep.
Because his stuff was so good.
I want my Riddler back, Riddler back, Riddler back.
Together.
Riddler back, Riddler back.
It was great.
And this one sounds promising.
You having fun over there, Brian?
I am.
Okay.
Riddlers.
Breaking Batman's back.
Question marks.
Nice.
Mark, what's making you geek flag fly?
You know what? As I didn't have anything, but something
popped into your head.
Did pop into my head. Adrienne King, who played Alice in the original Friday the 13th, posted that she's going back to Camp Crystal Lake, which has to do to that.
She's going to be on the show? Oh, that's awesome.
Which has to do with the Crystal Lake prequel to Jason Voorhees, which I am looking forward to, which means if she's going back, I imagine that this is going to not only take place in the past, but, in the present as well, because, she's old now.
Bouncing around, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm hoping. The other thing, and I'm probably alone on this, but I don't care. Night Court's coming back.
I recorded it last night.
And I haven't seen
2 episodes.
With who?
2 episodes.
2 episodes.
Melissa.
John Larroquette.
What's her
is
name?
The only right? Is he the
Rauch?
only?
Melissa Rauch plays Harry's daughter. And she kind of takes over the mantle, and she brings
Harry Stone.
back Harry Stone.
Harry Stone.
No, but the actor is
Harry Anderson.
Harry Dean Anderson.
No, not Harry.
Just Harry Anderson.
Harry Anderson.
Harry Anderson.
Oh.
Yeah.
But he plays Harold.
Yeah, I know where you were going because you were thinking like Harry Dean.
Harry Dean
Stanton.
Yeah. His daughter, and she manages to call. I can't remember why. Dan back into the court. Dan Fielding, and at first I thought it was going to be kind of weak, but I saw some of the clips of it, and it if you're a Night Court fan, I think it looks pretty legit. Yeah. It's got the laugh track, and John Larroquette's still Dan Fielding.
Is this going to be like a Cobra Kai where you think it's going to be garbage and then it's going to be like the best show
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Because I remember when that came out and I was like, I'll never see that trash.
Oh, I know. I think a lot of people did.
And now now I can't wait for more.
Oh, seriously.
Well,
that could be this.
Yeah, it could be this, or it could go
And plus,
nowhere.
remember when it came out, it originally aired on YouTube
It was on
Red,
YouTube,
and nobody had it because it's like, why am I going to pay?
They got rid of that.
YouTube has like one
I
scripted
just
show. Why am I going to
remember
pay for
everybody telling me how good it was, and I couldn't believe it because it looked like a gimmick.
Seriously. And when it came to Netflix, I'm like, all right, I'll check it out.
It's not even on Peacock. It's just on NBC.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So
it should be on
Well,
Peacock.
it's coming on Peacock, too.
Yeah.
It'll be on Peacock. Night Court?
That's what I
Yeah,
saw.
the new one.
Premiering on Peacock.
It's not showing it.
They'd be fools.
I don't know. No talk right now of Richard Mole or Marsha Warfield coming back, but I'm sure they
Richard
will.
Mole just had a birthday.
Did he?
It was his birthday over the weekend.
Love Richard Mole.
Yeah.
Best Two-Face.
Marky Post, she died, correct?
Marky Post
Yeah.
died. Mac
Post
passed
died.
away.
Yeah.
Harry
Anderson,
died. Harry
yeah.
Anderson died. So that was one of the reasons why I was a little iffy about this. I'm like, wow, most of the cast is gone. How are we
What
gonna
if you can
do it?
recapture the
But
magic?
John Larroquette was a big part of that
Oh,
show.
he was.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So, all right, well, on that happy note, if we don't have anything else, hey, if you want to hear us bash some other directors and past episodes, Brian, where can we go?
They can go to www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.3gdpodcast.com. As Mark said, all of our past episodes are there, along with one-click buttons where you can subscribe to us through the podcast platform of your choice. Also, there are places where on the website where you can rate and review the show. Please give us a 5-star rating. Say a little nice thing about us or anything about us if you'd like. Whatever you put down, it just helps. It helps to move us up the charts and helps others find us as they're searching us. Don't know why it does, but it does. Our social media links are also there. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, Spotify.
Jeez, we haven't done this in a while.
No, I haven't. Jesus, no.
Stitcher, Spotify.
No. I'm not even doing that. Stay away from that shit. No. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're
Instagram.
on Instagram. That's what I meant to say instead of Spotify. And we're also on YouTube.
Did you take us off
I said Twitter.
Oh, okay.
No. I just post our episodes.
Yeah.
I don't post anything else up there. I don't know who's even on there anymore. We'll wait till the dust settles. So I think that's pretty much it. Also our Ko-fi page. I keep forgetting to mention our Ko-fi page. If you really like the show, please consider making a small donation because it really helps to keep the show going. And that's about it. So thank you everybody out there for listening.
Cool. Nice. All right. Tune in next time when we do our last of the Tito picks before jumping into a new month of February, which is Fantasy February. Tito's got one more under his
Rawhead
belt.
Rex.
Oh, man.
Don't tempt Mark with a good time.
Christmas comes early. So, until
so
then...
And so does Rawhead Rex.
That's how much I had to drink. Sorry, Mom. So, until next time, I'm Mark.
I'm Derek.
I'm Brian.
I'm Rawhead Rex.
Oh, you are not. I didn't see you pissing on
Right
anybody.
you are, Ken.
Right you are, Rex. Again, thank you very much.
Oh, he's a naughty Rex.
He's
a very naughty Rex. Oh, I bet you like to run around with the pumpkin, don't you?
That is just fucking creepy. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys for listening. We're Three Geeky Dads saying keep watching the skies because John Hurd sure as hell is not watching you or any of his kids.
But Gila Douche is.
Good night and God help me.
That's one of the best endings I had.
All right,
go.
We ready for the main course? Let's do it. Okay.
Can you put a broken plate in there somewhere?
Yeah, I can smash that.
A little explosion.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
No, we fix nothing anymore. We have fun. Fix my laptop.
Rooney. Come out to the parking lot. I'd like to have a word with you, by God.
By God. Shut up, man. What? All right. I don't know. Okay. The underdog. There's no need to fear. Underdog is here. Well, and a underdog at least. All the dinosaurs are running wild. Someone let T-Rex out of his pen. Things will harm me, but they sure don't act like Barney. And they think that I'm their dinner, not their friend. Oh no!
You too.
We're hilarious.
Just ask us.
Just ask.